Did you know that some of the most infamous figures in the Bible were queens who wielded their power for evil, leaving trails of destruction in their wake? These women, Jezebel, Athaliah, and Herodias, were known not for their grace or wisdom, but for their ruthless ambition, idolatry, and rebellion against God. Their stories are cautionary tales of how unchecked power and unrepentant hearts can lead to ruin. 1. Jezebel, the queen who defied God. Jezebel, the Phoenician princess who became the wife of King Ahab of Israel, was one of the most notorious queens in the Bible. From the moment she entered Israel's history, Jezebel brought with her the worship of Baal, a pagan god, and sought to replace the worship of the one true God. She wasn't content to merely worship Baal herself. Jezebel actively persecuted the prophets of God, killing many and promoting idol worship throughout the kingdom. Her most infamous act was orchestrating the murder of Naboth, a righteous man, so her husband could take possession of his vineyard. But Jezebel's defiance of God was her undoing. The prophet Elijah prophesied her downfall, declaring that dogs would devour her body. Years later, as Jezebel's reign of terror ended, she was thrown from a window by her own servants, fulfilling Elijah's prophecy. Her death was a stark reminder of God's justice. 2. Athaliah, the queen who nearly erased a dynasty. Athaliah, Jezebel's daughter, inherited her mother's ruthlessness. She married Jehoram, king of Judah, and brought the same idolatrous influence into the southern kingdom. When her son, King Ahaziah, was killed, Athaliah seized the throne of Judah for herself, a rare act in a male-dominated monarchy. But her thirst for power didn't stop there. To secure her position, she ordered the massacre of all royal heirs, even her own grandchildren. Her goal was to eradicate the line of David, through whom God had promised to bring the Messiah. However, one child, Joash, was hidden by his aunt Jehosheba in the temple of the Lord. For 6 years, Joash was protected and raised in secret by the high priest Jehoiada. When Joash was old enough, Jehoiada led a rebellion against Athaliah, and the rightful king was crowned. Athaliah was executed, ending her wicked reign. Her story underscores how God's promises cannot be thwarted, no matter how dire the circumstances. 3. Herodias, the queen who demanded a prophet's head. Herodias, the wife of Herod Antipas, was a queen whose ambition and vindictiveness left an indelible mark in the New Testament. Her story is intertwined with John the Baptist, a prophet who openly condemned her marriage to Herod as unlawful because she had been married to his brother. Herodias nursed a grudge against John and sought to have him killed, but Herod, though troubled by John's words, protected him, recognizing him as a righteous man. However, Herodias found her opportunity during Herod's birthday banquet. Her daughter, Salome, danced before Herod and his guests, so captivating the king that he promised her anything she desired, up to half his kingdom. At her mother's prompting, Salome demanded the head of John the Baptist on a platter. Herod, though reluctant, granted her request to save face before his guests. Thus, John the Baptist was executed, a martyr for truth and righteousness. These queens serve as warnings of what happens when ambition, pride, and rebellion take precedence over obedience to God. Yet even in their stories of darkness, we see the light of God's sovereignty and his ability to preserve his people